she just like starts going down on him, and it's like, what the freak?
No, whoa.
You can't use that word. Like that.
I can't use that
That's
word?
a minor, dude.
Yeah.
It's one of those weird hentais.
Oh,
Where
yeah.
this
The guitar's moaning.
Yeah,
every
moaning
scene.
as it's getting tickled.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. That's the sounds it makes is the
Yeah.
moans.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's too easy. It writes itself. Get on this, Japan. Get on this. Hey everybody, welcome to today's episode of Life is Daijoubu. This is going to be episode 10. My name is Cole. I'm joined by Thane and Skylar, respectively. One of these days I'll let them introduce themselves, and maybe Thane will be a mature person, and then Skylar won't follow along and be a mature person, not just follow the crowd and do some bad intro for himself because Thane did it too.
I do what I want.
Yeah, we got a show for you today. Honestly, not a ton of news. I literally just forgot about looking up news except for like the last 10 minutes. I decided to look it up really quick. There were some things I saw throughout the couple weeks that we can bring up, but none of it's like confirmed, I guess. Or the one thing is not confirmed. It's kind of a big rumor right now, but from a credible leaker. Anyway, we'll get to that. But anyway, today for the show, we're going to be going over our thoughts on Fooly Cooly, the first season, the 6 episodes. I don't think we have any plans to do progressive or anything like that later in the future. I don't know. Maybe someday we'll get to them, but maybe not. I know a lot of people don't think they're as good as the first season, so.
Some people think they straight up suck.
Some people
I watched progressive. I thought it was not spectacular.
Not spectacular.
Yeah.
So we may never get to it. Who knows? We'll see in the future. But that won't be until the latter half of the show. For the first half, we're going to do our normal news section. We're going to talk about the shows we've been watching this season, and then we'll cut, and then we'll go to the Fooly Cooly discussion. So if you're interested in just the Fooly Cooly discussion, skip to about halfway in the episode, and you should be about there. Anyway, yeah, let's just dive into the news then of the stuff that I got. The first thing is the mangaka who does One Punch Man and Mob Psycho
has died.
Oh Jesus! Oh my God! No!
That'd
Not
be
that.
tragic. I would have heard about that.
You would have. I think everybody would have heard
Yeah.
about that. Holy freak! No, they are doing a new manga.
Oh, cool.
They're writing it with they're getting an illustrator.
Wait, are they
haven't-
ending One Punch Man?
It's not done yet. I
Okay.
know they're on break.
They
right
haven't
now.
finished either of those, have they?
Mob Psycho's done, I believe.
Mob
it
Psycho's
is?
done. It's been
Yeah.
done for a while.
Oh, okay, I
It's
didn't know
done
that.
and dusted. I think he just wanted to end it to work on One Punch Man because he's co-writing it with Murata.
Yeah.
To
They're still doing that. I
Yeah.
think they're just on break right now. It's been a little bit since I've seen a chapter.
Because-
Oh no, a new chapter just came out actually, just this
Really?
past week.
oh yeah,
Not on the Shonen Jump app, but I saw that it came out.
yeah. It's always late on.
They're
Shonen
very
Jump.
late with Shonen with the One Punch Man. Anyway, yeah, so that's exciting. It seems like it's gonna be like a tournament arc,
Oh,
the manga tournament arc of the manga, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I forget what the
That
title
sounds
was supposed to
awesome.
be, but I imagine it's gonna be kind of fun and witty and
It's gonna
hilarious because
it's gonna
that's
be,
what one
It's
does.
gonna also be word with one where it's like #1 in the country or something.
It's just him. It's self-insert.
You know, because they're thinking why is One Punch Man over at least the remake because it looks like it kind of had an ending, but I guess if they're still going on, then that's fine.
Yeah, One Punch Man seems like it's probably gonna finish up here soon, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
Just based on the stuff that's happened in the manga, seems like the ending, but you never know. They
Although
might
the
just keep
web
making more.
comic is still going and it's gone further than where they are.
Oh really?
So I
they
hope
might just keep going.
hopefully they'll adapt it, but if they want to take a break, I can understand.
Yeah.
It's a lot to draw. If you watch it.
Imagine being a guy that makes a web comic, but then also just repurposes that story for a even better version of it.
Yeah.
He's double dipping basically on his own stories. Anyway, the next thing I have, this is your typical standard weekly announcement or bi-weekly announcement of the next isekai that's going to be animated. It's called I was reincarnated as the 7th prince so I can take my time perfecting my magical ability.
My God.
I feel obligated whenever I see one of these stupid long isekai titles to put it in the news section just because I love reading how long these stupid are. It's just fun to me.
It's interesting to me how popular the isekai genre is, even though it's so saturated.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't even tell you my first isekai. I've watched several, but the last one I watched was the
Sword Art
time.
Online.
That's probably the first
Probably.
one.
You can count that, I guess.
Yeah. But I watched the time I got reincarnated as a slime, and I really liked it. And I got recommended a whole bunch of other isekais, and I'm just like, wow, there's so many isekais.
I think the reason why the isekai genre is super big, even though it's saturated and it still works, is because you can literally do everything that's already been done in anime, but again. Because they died and now they're in a new place doing it. They're in a fantasy world doing Death Note. They're in a sci-fi place doing I don't know, some medieval anime, fairy tale, or the one you like, Seven Deadly Sins. They're in a insert anything here that's already been done into a fantasy world or something that you can be reincarnated into. That's what I'm assuming anyway.
Yeah.
I imagine like in the next 10 years we're gonna see people doing. I died and got reincarnated as the smiling Titan in Attack on Titan, or the Titan that looks like Saul Goodman.
They already did it for
the
Dragon Ball
yeah,
Z.
the Dragon Ball one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is some random character.
Reincarnated as Yamcha.
It's just some random freaking Dragon Ball character gets reincarnated as him. That's the story. And so like I'm imagining that's gonna pop off here in the future.
The joke is that Yamcha is like the weakest character. So
oh yeah. I there's no doubt about it. They're gonna be like, it's not gonna be explicitly Death Note, but it's gonna be I got reincarnated with a book that can kill people or something.
I got reincarnated as L.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the isekai genre as a whole will just always continue to be what it is, and I will continue to read their titles because I think they're hilarious. All right, so the next bit of news we got is about Kaguya-sama Love is War. Kaguya just ended. That's not the news. That's just sad. On December 13th, that's when the anime movie is supposed to come out. December 13th.
Is it canon?
Oh yeah, it's just the next arc in the manga after the ending of the anime.
So it's kind of like a Mugen Train thing.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, okay.
And then the next thing is Akasaka is not going to be a drawing mangaka anymore. He's retiring from drawing and he's just going to do storytelling.
So is he going to finish Oshinoko, or does he have somebody else?
He's just
writing.
writing.
He's not drawing that.
Oh, okay. I was unaware.
Yeah.
So did he draw all of Love is War?
Yeah,
though?
he did all of his war. And it seems like he's done. He's like, I need to play more Apex. I can't do any more drawing, guys.
Maybe why can't I remember Hunter Man's name? Maybe Hunter Man should take a cue and say, "Hey, I'm just kind of someone else draw it."
Hunter Man.
He's like with the broken back, right?
Yeah. I think he's just pride. He just wants to finish something.
That's understandable. I mean, everything is done so far that I understand is really good. I mean, I've watched Hunter x Hunter. I've never seen
Read the
Yu Yu Hakusho, but from what I understand, it's one of the best shows ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's cool. Good for him. And then the last thing I have, and this is the unconfirmed one. This is just the one that was, I guess, quote unquote, leaked by a relevant leaker, and it's that Dan to Dan will be getting an anime adaptation, which is exciting, I think.
Yeah.
When I read that manga, I was like, yeah, there's no doubt about it. This will be an anime one of those days. Like, no doubt.
Had to remember which one that was because there's so many with da 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 doo 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 da da da.
Dora.
Which one is that? Oh,
Dora. I love that anime. It's a great one, Sky.
There's another one I just saw on the
app. Use the map.
Duran.
Duran. That's a band.
Duran. Yeah.
That one. Yeah. I did say a band, didn't I?
Yeah. That was one of the ones I was reading that got canceled.
Yeah.
Duran.
Yeah. It's sad.
It was not very good. Dang. I know why it got canceled. That's
it's
one of
sad.
the ones.
Not because that one got canceled. But even though eventually it canceled, there was one it was running with, had the premiered the next week of, and it's like I like this one, and that got canceled. And I thought, oh well, I guess Duran will probably have success, and then that one got canceled. It's like, well,
about 30 chapters.
Yeah, and I guess you can blame Akira Toriyama. God, what's his name? The guy who makes Astro Boy. I
don't know.
Osamu Tezuka.
Oh, Tezuka.
You blame Tezuka for the Dororo thing because he made a manga called Dororo.
Oh, Dororo?
Yeah.
That's the little animal guy? What is he?
No, he's missing a bunch of body parts and he kills demons for his body parts.
Oh. What's the other one that's similar like that, but it's like a little animal? It's a very popular like kids show over in Japan.
Doraemon.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah. Anyway, so going back to Dan to Dan, it's very, very fun. I enjoy that manga a lot, actually. I started collecting it too because it started to publish in English as well, and the freaking covers are sick as hell, dude. They are dripped out of their freaking minds in that the cover art that the creator draws for them. They're good. It's cool. It's awesome. So it's a fun one. That'll be a fun one to look forward to. If it actually gets confirmed. I mean, it hasn't been confirmed yet, but.
Well, I looked up. I got 2-piece same news. Apparently,
sweet.
There's a new Sword Art Online movie coming.
Oh yeah, I did see a little bit of that.
Yeah. There's a new game also. An RPG, as always. You won't find a Sword Art Online fight game. They're all going to be RPGs.
Speaking of Sword Art Online, I meant to mention this. I forgot. But today is the day that they went into Sword Art Online. Wow. What is it? The 11/6, November 6th, 2022. That was the day that they went to Sword Art Online.
And then yet VR.
Or the 5th. I don't know.
Yet VR, we're literally just like this. We're not full dived in.
Yeah, we're
like
not diving
the Matrix
in just yet. But that's pretty much it for the news. Oh, you got one more.
And then one more. Actually, this one's kind of old, and people probably know, but JoJo's coming back December 1st, which is pretty surprising because we had to wait almost a whole year, or 9 months for JoJo for Stone Ocean Part 1 and then Stone Ocean Part 2, and it's really long. But then
is this Part 3 then?
Yeah, surprisingly, bam! It's all the final 14 episodes are coming out December 1st.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting then for JoJo fans.
Yep, and I hope they're probably just gonna go with Netflix again.
When they animate Steel Ball Run, I'll watch that with you.
Yeah, sure.
I'll watch that as it comes out because that's the one I've always been interested in. People always talk about Steel Ball Run being like the best JoJo's ever been.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that one actually. And it's set in America, and I always think it's interesting to see what Japanese creators do with things set in America.
It's kind of a weird alternate version of America.
Is it like a Western?
Yeah, it's like a Western.
So that seems interesting to me. Anyway, that's the news. So we can go ahead and talk about the shows we've been watching for this season. That's what is it? Winter, fall season of anime. We're just gonna talk about a couple shows and kind of go more in depth and give some summaries if you are curious about them and wanted to learn a little bit more. So the two that I decided to talk about today, the first one is it's one of those isekai ones. I'm trying to think of the name. It's I'm the villainess, so I'm taming the final boss. That's what it is. Okay, I was like, I can't remember all the words. Anyway, that's honestly, this show's not bad. I went into the show completely thinking that it was just gonna be generic, not very fun, kind of boring, but no, dude, it completely took me off guard.
Hot.
Well, not even that. It's not super etchy or anything like that. Okay. It's just surprisingly good storytelling. Is the final
boss hot? Like, is he?
Yeah, he's a hottie, dude. He's the demon lord, dude.
Wait, is the protagonist? Isn't she like a young girl? Like,
I don't think so.
No,
she's got to be at least 18, but I think she acts like she's like 20 or something.
Oh, okay.
But like, it's super interesting because like the way they do their stories, it's like 4 or 5 episode arcs. Like every 4 to 5ish episodes, it's like a whole arc. So like I think we're gonna get one more episode in this current mini arc, I guess, and it really feels like these 4 episodes are a full length anime. It's crazy, and like just the characterization of the main character is just super fun. Just because she knows about the world that she's in, because she's reincarnated into a light novel, and because she knows, she kind of has an idea of things that are going to happen, and so she knows how to work around them to her advantage. And she's also just a very manipulative person, so it's hilarious and fun to watch. I quite enjoy it. That said, the whole isekai thing doesn't really necessarily get brought up that much. You kind of forget that it's an isekai, except for the very small random moment that she brings it up. Like, for the most part, it seems like this person was never isekai. They were just always there. And there's not really a whole reason for why they were isekai. At the very, very beginning, like episode 1, it's just like they were in the hospital or something playing these light novels, and all of a sudden, I guess they just died and showed up in there. But honestly, it's a fun show. I quite enjoy it. I'm having a blast with it. Every week, I'm pretty excited to watch it, actually. And then the other one that I'm watching weekly that I'd like to talk about today is called Beast Tamer. I know
Wow.
I memed on this one a little bit when when the season first started. And I hold to those memes. I definitely think it's weird at times when they're just taming these anime girls that are part animals. That's strange, but honestly, there is this incredible good payoff in episode either 4 or 5. I think it was episode 4. And it's just like, holy crap, that was cool. I enjoyed that. The rest of the show is kind of just mediocre and mid, but that one episode was like, let's go. This is satisfying. I'm glad I've been watching it up until this point so I can see this.
Satisfying is in fan service way? Or
No. Well, I mean, not an ecchi fan service, just like a character fan service. So the plot of this one is the main character is a beast tamer. Who would have guessed with the title of beast tamer? He's in the hero's party. He gets kicked out of the hero's party because they think he's worthless. And he goes off on his own and he tries to become an adventurer. And then he meets the cat girl and becomes friends. And then they meet the dragon girl and so on. And episode 4 is the confrontation with the hero party after he's become freaking overpowered with all these anime girls with him, anime beast girls with him. And so it's very, very satisfying. Very satisfying. Except for this last episode, they got the lolly of the group, so I'm kind of like sussy about it. I'm just like, I don't know anymore.
Kind of just learned to take it in stride with anime.
Yeah, for real. The main character is super wholesome though, so I don't expect anything weird to happen. If it's gonna happen, it's because the girls are being weird. Like they've done a little bit of their
misunderstandings.
No, not misunderstandings. It's the girls are like clearly in love with him, and he's just super wholesome about everything. He's like, I don't really.
Does he have the horny stick that he bonks him with?
No, hasn't gotten to that point. He kind of acts oblivious almost. Like for example, there's this one scene where they need to stay at a hotel, and the innkeeper is trying to be funny, be like, "Oh, we only have one room. You guys have to stay in there." And he's like, "No, we need another room. We need another room." Blah blah blah. And eventually, he just sleeps on the ground so that they can take the beds and kind of that thing. And meanwhile, the girls are just looking at him while he's sleeping, like, "Whew, what a tasty piece of meat that guy is." But those are the shows I'm watching. I'm enjoying them. Beast Tamer's not as good as I'm a Villainous, but I'm still enjoying them both, especially if Beast Tamer gets a lot more of those like really good payoff moments like they already had. I imagine it's going to be even more fun later on. But those are just 2 of the shows. I'll talk about the other ones next week, or a couple of the other ones next week. Skylar, what else are you watching?
So I started a new one. It's called Bocchi the Rock, and it's about
a guy named Bocchi who is a rock.
Close.
Dwayne?
I'm just kidding.
Dwayne?
I know what it is.
It's about this girl who she suffers from she has very bad social anxiety, so she can't even communicate with human beings at all other than her parents. Like she's just so socially awkward and afraid of everything. She has no friends at school, nobody talks to her, so she's just terrified and has all these mental breakdowns all the time. But then she sees on the TV one day, she sees a band, and it was an interview with the singer of the band. I believe it was the singer. One of the band members, doesn't matter. He's like, yeah, I was really socially awkward. I was the kid that didn't have any friends, and then I started playing music, and I found myself, I guess, in a way. So she sees this interview on the TV, and then she starts playing guitar. And I'm only a couple episodes in, but the whole premise is just her coming out of her shell, I guess, through music, and I like music.
Kind of sounds like Hide.
I was going to say it's Komi can't communicate, but instead of a notepad and a Tadano, she's got a guitar.
Yeah. It's just fun. I think everybody in some way, shape, or form can relate in some sense. Because, I don't think I've necessarily had a hard time communicating, but there are specific people or cute girls where I just collapse and I just start freaking out and I don't know what to say, and so I don't say anything, and then a couple years go by and you're like, wow.
I'm curious, is that the show that I was talking about how each of the names of the main girls are named after Asian Kung Fu Generation? Because if it is, was the band supposed to be Asian Kung Fu Generation in the beginning on the TV? Because that would be interesting.
I have no idea.
That would be
maybe.
That'd be quite an interesting thing. I don't know if that was the show, but I thought that was the show where each of the main characters, because there's 4 of them, right? 4 girls, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Well, there's only 3 that I've met so far, but yeah, there are 4.
There are 4 though.
Yeah.
Because like from what I understand, I don't remember if this was the same show, but somebody like made the comparison how each of the girls had the same name as one of the members of Asian Kung Fu Generation. So it'd be very fitting if they had that was the band in the beginning of the show.
Yeah, I wouldn't know, but it's fun. Literally, the only reason I'm watching this one is because you're like, I'm surprised you're not watching this one. It's like, okay, I guess I'll watch it. But it's fun. Like I like music, and I don't know. These are always some of my like favorite types of stories of people growing in different ways, I guess. And I think where the premise is so real, it's not I got isekai'd and now I'm God. It's I'm a girl, or I mean, you can relate it to yourself. I'm just a person trying to figure it out, So.
I can't wait for the sequel to be I got isekai'd and I'm a guitar played by a person with some kind of communication disorder.
I got reincarnated into a guitar played by a deaf person.
I got reincarnated to a guitar with the softest playing by the softest hands in the world.
And it's just one of those weird hentais.
Oh yeah. The guitar's moaning.
Yeah, moaning as it's getting tickled.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's the sounds it makes is the moans.
Oh no!
Oh, it's too easy. It writes itself. Get on this, Japan. Get on this.
It writes itself because it's a guitar.
Oh.
Yeah, it's fun. I don't know. That's probably one of my recommends for the week. Then the other one, I've talked a little bit about it. It's Blue Lock. It's the soccer Battle Royale.
Yeah. I'm curious about this one.
It's so interesting for me anyway, because I've never watched a sports anime, but I've seen a lot of shonen, and it's like instead of throwing ninja stars and using their chakra, they're kicking soccer balls.
Does the soccer ball look like it's powerful? Like it's got fire on it?
Yeah, sometimes they'll be like winding up a swing and their legs are on fire, and then their eyes start spinning. Yeah.
Get the sand
and then they'll be like, and now I'm gonna go for a kick, and he goes for the kick, but he psychs everybody out and kicks it with his other foot to somebody that's open, and this guy's like, and now it's my turn. So just some signs, and then he kicks it into the goal.
It's told from the characters then, rather than like an announcer.
Yeah,
because
totally.
That would have been interesting if it's the announcer just freaking out. Whoa! He faked him out.
Yeah, it's interesting, but it makes me want to go through and watch some of the old like high-regarded sports animes, like the basketball one, Slam Dunk, that everyone talks about.
That one's like so many people's favorite manga of all time.
I think that's like the highest selling sports manga of all time.
Is there an anime?
It's that or Initial D, but I don't know if Initial D is kind of like a iffy sports one.
Yeah.
Is there an anime of Slam Dunk or just
yes?
Okay. I might read that. I think that I swear to God that was the one I started where I got 10 chapters in. And I'm like, this isn't it for me.
I think Slam Dunk popularized basketball in Japan.
Yeah, and then Ice Shield 21 did the same thing, but with football instead.
Yeah.
Do they have like a really big baseball manga? I feel like baseball's huge in Japan.
I'm sure there's
several baseball mangas.
I don't know if in a big one though. Like Slam Dunk and Ice Shield are huge. But like baseball, I don't know of a big baseball one.
In Japan, there is like if you look in Japan, there's like
tons of baseball manga.
Yeah, but like they're not very popular. There's Ace of Diamond and what's the other one? Yeah, I know Ace of Diamond's a popular one.
Yeah, you'd think that would be like a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
There's
plenty if you look it up, but they're not as popular in America.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, it's exciting. I think the best part about Blue Lock for me anyway is just seeing how over the top it is, because I play sports, and so it's like, it's not really how it goes down, but like anyone that watches it could get entertainment out of it. Though.
You were in high school basketball, getting ready to shoot your shot. You're going up. You're like, oh shoot, I'm gonna make it. Fake it, throw it to my buddy over there. Dude's like, you didn't do that. I would have done that. I know I would have.
Not in my head. I don't know.
I would have been that guy freaking playing the anime intros in my head while I'm going down the court.
The thing is when you're in the moment playing sports, like you're in the moment, and it's really hard to think of anything else other than like, crap, I've got the ball, I need to do something with it. But everybody's different. So anyway, I guess the point is they can, with these sports manga or anime, I see why they do it the way they do. It's so that anybody can watch and be like, wow, soccer looks really freaking cool.
Also, they don't have magic powers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, remember the other popular basketball anime is Kuroko's basketball.
Kuroko. That's the one I thought you had read was Kuroko. Because I don't hear people talk about that one as much, but I know it's popular.
Yeah, I read one of them. I can't remember which one.
And then the guy made a golf manga. It didn't do very well.
Yeah. But those are my two.
Nice. What about you, Thane? What are you watching?
I'm watching it's a wacky comedy anime called Pop Team Epic. And the premise is these two girls, a short blonde-haired pigtail girl named Papuko, I think that was Papuko, and the tall blue-haired girl named Peepimi.
Peepimi?
Yeah, Peepimi. Yeah.
Sounds hilarious.
And it's just a sketch. It's just sketch after sketch, and they do weird stuff. Usually they're pretty sadistic. They usually insult other people.
Yeah.
But then there's a lot of parodies. The one I busted my ass laughing was the Dora the Explorer parody in one of the episodes. I didn't expect a Dora the Explorer parody in a Japanese.
You were telling me earlier that they did like a Yu-Gi-Oh reference too.
They did?
Oh, maybe you weren't. Maybe. Oh, no. I saw it on Reddit. They got like the voice actor for one of the current Yu-Gi-Oh series, and they like made a Yu-Gi-Oh reference and had that person do the voice acting for that scene.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what it was. I noticed that there's a bunch of different animes doing Yu-Gi-Oh stuff right now, which is obviously in memory of Takahashi, which is really cool. Like one of the ones I'm watching, they even did like a Yu-Gi-Oh reference. I'm like, no way, that's cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I don't want to ruin a lot of jokes, but one joke.
I saw you had the manga. Is that the same or?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. It's just a 4-panel manga.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But it's like, unlike wacky slapstick, it's like, hey, they peeped me. I got this thing that looks stupid. Okay, and just throws it away. It's like very dry, sometimes very absurd.
Is it like niche humor?
Yeah, a bit. Like, there's this panel where she's like, I'm about to swear here, but it's a joke. She's like, Papago, the small blonde-haired one's like, look at all this green. So much green. And there's a solid panel, and it says, so much motherfucking green.
Did they blur it in the manga?
I don't think so. I think it's that might be a fan translation, but
probably. I was gonna say there's not a lot of mangas I've seen that swear that much.
Yeah,
sometimes
usually
the Doro Hedoro one goes hard.
Yeah,
it goes hard.
Yeah, that's what I assume.
I'm trying to think of other ones that I've read. Like
Dan to Dan, doesn't that kind of
Rent-A-Girlfriend
swear a lot?
every so often.
Yeah.
Well, that's because of translations. It's not.
Oh, you're saying the official?
Yeah, official.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, official translations very rarely swear. Dan to Dan does a little bit, but not like...
it does. Mostly from the granny, cat granny.
And I've never seen the F word.
I've seen the F word several times.
In Dan to Dan?
Yeah, I've seen it.
I'm curious now.
I don't remember.
I want to go look through my volumes of Rent-A-Girlfriend.
Yeah, the granny says it. Not the young granny, the turbo granny.
Yeah, turbo granny.
Yeah, she says it sometimes when it's
maybe I just don't remember.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Thinking about it though, like I don't think I've ever read the F word on the Shonen Jump app, unless I have.
That's probably why
it wouldn't be there. Yeah,
that's probably why it's not on there because of the language.
It would be on Jump Plus.
Yeah,
if they did it.
I was reading through that. It's like, why is this not on the regular Shonen Jump? It's not that bad. Then you see an F word. It's like, oh, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pop Team Epic is pretty funny.
I think I want to watch that one someday.
It's very niche humor. You won't understand a lot of it, but you'll probably find something to laugh at. Probably get. I looked up a video on like all the references. Like, wow, these are some deep references. Like, especially like the music video one where it's clearly like, "Let's groove tonight," or is it? It's a mix of "Let's groove tonight" and "Do you remember?"
Oh yeah.
It's kind of those two. Or maybe it's just "Let's Groove Tonight."
Do you have to watch it from the beginning?
No, you can actually just pick a random episode.
Pick a random episode.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
and pop into it. But Actually, there's like the season 1 finale, the special, and the season 2 finale kind of have like a connecting joke.
Yeah.
With singer Shota Aoi, and Shota Aoi just appears live action. It's like, it's me, Shota Aoi. It's like, what the hell?
So she's like on a green screen.
Yeah.
It's too good.
And also, Shota Aoi also does the opening for the second season.
Oh, really?
And I didn't know that was a guy singing it until I looked up. It's like, wait, what? Dude goes high.
So what's the other one you're watching? Or another one, I guess, rather.
It's Gundam, the Gundam show, Gundam the Witch from Mercury. It's an interesting show about duels. Some people are comparing it to the anime Revolutionary Girl Utena because of the duel thing, but it's not as weird. And it's just about a girl who goes to a robot school to learn to pilot robots, and she has a robot with a what?
Nothing.
Sorry, I was readjusting my pants strings.
He knew. I glanced at the camera. Yeah. Did you notice that too?
I wasn't gonna say anything.
I wasn't gonna say anything,
but I definitely went like this.
Anyways, it's so she has a frame called a Gundarm, and they shorten it to Gundam. So there's the Gundam for the show. And they said, oh, it's painted like France's colors. It's like, no, that's America. That's America's colors. That's red, white, and blue.
This is still Gundam, though. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
So each Gundam, like, is in a different continuity. It's standalone, so you can just pick up and watch it. Like, if you want to go watch Gundam Wing, you can go watch Gundam Wing. No.
Yeah, or like Iron-Blooded Orphan.
Yeah, that's why they're so long, because they try to establish its own separate world. But what's condom? Jesus. What's common? What's common is the Gundam.
There's a lot of ums there.
A lot of ums.
Yeah. The Gundam is a one common thing, and the Gundam model, the Gundarm, I think that's how they call it. That's how they say it. It's like overpowered.
Okay.
So, kind of, and every other model is kind of inferior, but there was one fight with this guy who was having an inferior model, and he held his own pretty well, but you can't beat a Gundam model.
So are the people not with the Gundams? It is, but like just human. Like they're not like fighting with anything else, like a sword maybe, or
they have weapons. They have guns. They have laser guns. They can pull out a laser gun.
So it's just not even fair though, because you're still fighting a Gundam. It's like, well, I'm dead.
Yeah, and also in this universe, Gundams were made illegal.
Really?
So, because in this universe, in order to fully pilot a Gundam, you need to have chemicals, some kind of chemical pumping through you to bond with it.
I see.
And it's was considered dangerous.
So the premise is just fighting then, or?
But guess what? The main character's Gundam, her Gundam, she doesn't need to do that. They perfected it.
Oh, so they don't have the stuff.
Yeah. But she still gets in trouble with it, in the second episode where they're trying to trying to scrap it and decommission it because it's a Gundam, it's illegal.
So I have a question, and this is probably a very ignorant question. But is there the Gundam anime?
What do you mean?
Is there literally an anime called Gundam? When I think of Gundam,
Mobile Suit Gundam from 1970. Whatever.
Is that the one with the white Gundam that has the two spikes going out like this? It's the model that I always see when I think of Gundam.
That's the 70 model. That's the most popular. If you compare every Gundam, it looks different. They have differences, but usually the model is that face kind of.
Yeah.
It's red, white, and blue.
I'm assuming all these
yellow.
other
and yellow, yeah.
I'm assuming all these other Gundam animes have nothing to do with that. They're just mechs.
Yeah, they're mechs.
Okay.
So you can pop into any Gundam. Some of them are sequels, so you might have to do your research a bit. But other than that, Gundam Wing, people really like Gundam Wing. You can just watch Gundam Wing.
Someday,
watch Iron-Blooded Orphans.
Yeah, someday I will watch Iron-Blooded Orphans. That's one I want to see. But yeah. Well, cool. That is pretty much our recap then. Yeah. Next time we'll talk more about our about some more shows that we're watching or some other shows. And now we're going to take our quick break, and then we will be right back and talk more about Fooly Cooley. Or not more about, but we will actually talk about Fooly Cooley. But we'll be going into full spoiler territory for the first 6 episodes, just the season 1. So if you're not yet finished with the series, definitely just pause this and continue later. But if you are, or if you don't care about spoilers, like probably a lot of people, then just feel free to listen in, and we will talk fully about it. We will do a brief synopsis / thoughts on it. I don't know. You'll see in a second. We'll be right back. And we're back from our break. Welcome back, everybody. It's now time to
Ride on shooting star.
That was good. Thank you for that one. I was gonna make a really poor bad joke, and it was. I'm glad you came with something better. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna talk about Fooly Cooley, a little bit about the show, a little bit about our thoughts, a little bit about. I mean, that's literally it. I don't know what else we talk about. That's pretty
just
much
a little bit of everything for some. There's a little bit of everything for everyone.
Skylar, what is Fooly Cooley?
I wish I could sum that up for you,
it's
everyone.
It's spelled like FLCL.
I don't know what Fooly Cooley is, because I watched Fooly Cooley.
Fooly Cooley.
And Fooly Cooley is an acid trip of an anime.
That's where my joke was going to go, was something like that.
Yeah, literally, I watched the first episode, and I felt like I smoked a reefer, or did literal acid, and watched something, I guess. So I rewatched it twice. I rewatched the first episode twice because I thought there was something I was missing, and that literally summed up the entirety of watching that show for me. I felt like I felt like there was something missing.
Yeah, I can kind of get that. That makes sense.
It's kind of like that early 2000s. This was early 2000s. It felt like 90s, but I think it was like 2001. And it definitely had that weirdness going. Like, it definitely had that punk rock vibe of. I think the creators are just like, we can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
And I'll just paint a picture for everybody that hasn't seen it. So the first episode, it starts off with this boy named Naota talking to another girl named Mamimi, yes. Talking to Mamimi, and then she just like starts going down on him, and it's like, what the freak?
Whoa.
You can't use that word. Like that.
I can't use that word?
That's a minor, dude.
Yeah.
Holy freak.
No.
Okay, she starts like she like is hugging him and caressing him and like whispers in his ear,
rubbing
and then,
up on him.
Then like lays on him.
You can
yeah,
say that.
Rubs up on him.
Don't say what you said.
They're both minors.
Sure, but I'm watching it, dude.
Oh, okay, sorry.
She's 17 and he's 12. There's
quite a difference in age.
I didn't make the show. I just explained it poorly. Sorry. But yeah, and then it cuts like one of the next scenes. They're at a vending machine, and then this other chick on a Vespa flies by, runs him over, and then whacks him in the head with the guitar, and then he gets a head boner. Later in that episode, his head boner, a robot comes out of it. And it's like, I'm not even kidding you. This is the show. And it just keeps getting weirder and wackier from there. And that, I don't know. Anyway, like I said, after I watched that first episode, I'm like, wow, what? And I was so frustrated. Like, after the show was finished, I was extremely frustrated with what I just watched, because I felt like, I guess for me, I was trying to dig maybe too deep for, like, what was the whole point of me watching the show? Like, what were some of the themes? I felt like I was frustrated because I felt like I missed out on something, just because people have praised this show so much that I felt like I just watched this, and I don't know if I liked it or not because I don't know what happened, and I felt like I was missing out on something.
You okay, Dane?
Yeah. I'm fine.
Dane, you've seen Fooly Cooley quite a bit.
Yeah, I remember when they had old YouTube rips on it. I like watched it first time. It's like, what is this? I'm 13. I'm a weird kid. I like this. This is like on the old days of the internet when I would just watch stuff and it would be like, wow, I didn't know animation could be this crazy.
Japanimation.
And I liked it so much. Like, is there any more episodes? And there wasn't. There was just 6. It was weird. And I watched it several times over because I liked it, because it was just kind of the kind of thing I really liked. And I didn't really find any deeper meaning in it. I just liked the visuals. I just liked how over the top and out there it was. I also liked the music. I thought the music kicked ass.
Yeah, the music's real good.
So I guess before we give our like complete explanations on what we thought about it, let's talk about the music. Let's talk about the music before we really dive into it. But before we talk about the music, I do want to. I'll do my backstory with the show too, because you guys kind of did too, and I feel left out. I'm kind of jealous. So my whole backstory with the show was I grew up watching Avatar: The Last Airbender. Absolutely loved Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I don't know if they say this in the behind the scenes for Avatar: The Last Airbender, but I feel like they did. Regardless, I didn't know what it was, what they were talking about, if they did. But somewhere, it's Michael DiMartino and Brian Konietzko, the creators of Avatar: The Last Airbender. They say that one of their biggest inspirations is Fooly Cooly. And that kind of stuck with me, and I was just like, well, what the heck is this Fooly Cooly thing? I don't know how many years ago. It was probably 5 years ago. I decided to watch episode 1, and I was like, what the freak is this? You know, this is like, I don't know what I'm watching. I don't know what's happening. What's going on? And like, it was just so off the wall and so like crazy. I think I watched 1 or 2 episodes and didn't watch it after that. And then a year or 2 later, I decided to try it again. And I watched 1 or 2 episodes and literally the same thing. And then this time around, I watched the first 2 episodes and thought to myself, hey, that was a lot better than last couple times I tried watching this. Maybe this will be the time that I enjoy it. And you'll have to find out what I thought about the show in just a second. We're going to talk about the music now.
Okay. Music is by a band called The Pillows.
The Pillows freaking slap, dude.
Yeah.
I listened to, there's this one song, I think it might be from like Fooly Cooly Progressive or something, but it wasn't in this series. It wasn't in season 1, but I listened to it. It's in one of my playlists.
Was it Thank You, My Twilight?
I'll look it up.
Okay.
I'll tell you what it is. It's freaking good though, dude. I love it.
Yeah, dude, the music's awesome. Yeah. Literally, I get nostalgic for when I hear like music from like the early 2000s, like late 90s, early 2000s.
I feel that.
So even watching this show, I would hear the music and I would get nostalgic, even though I've never seen the show before. I was like, dang, dude, like this music just takes you back. Even the animation too, where like the art style and the animation is that late 90s. Yeah. That late 90s, early 2000s animation style. I just love that aesthetic. And it takes me back to being in my front room. You know, I'm 10 years old. It hits midnight or whatever, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Toonami comes on. You're like, oh, here we go, baby. Let's go. What anime's playing tonight? What episode of Naruto are they going to throw us into now?
Yeah.
It's like episode 30 probably. I have no idea.
It's the one who gives us Sasuke.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just love that early 2000s rock is something special for me.
Man, Naruto's when they pushed it back to Saturdays when it used to be a weekday show, and then they replaced it with Umizoomi.
Umizoomi?
Yeah.
Team Umizoomi?
No.
That's my favorite anime. I love that show.
I don't remember what it's called, but it was a weird CG thing where it wasn't Toonami. I was kind of pissed. It wasn't Toonami. It was only on Saturdays, but that means it was a longer block. I was like, hell yeah, and then they killed Toonami, but then they brought it back on Adult Swim. So
Thane was right though. By the way, it was thank you, my Twilight. Sorry, Spotify's doing the thing that like slowly rolls.
Thank you,
thank you, my Twilight. I think it is. It's either progressive or alternative because that's what the album artwork shows.
I think it's progressive.
Yeah. Honestly, now that I've seen the show and I've seen the album artwork, I see the girl with the bass. I don't remember her name. Vespa girl. She's the one I never. Haruko. Yeah, Haruko. And I see the black hair girl.
No, that's not the same black hair.
That's not the same one.
No.
Oh, okay. I'm not interested anymore. I thought it was gonna be all the characters from the original show.
No, Haruko's the only reoccurring character in any of these shows.
Really? It's not even like Naota's not even.
Yeah, that's what kind of I think the sequels don't work very well. Is because they thought, oh, people like Haruko. It's like, no, it's not about Haruko. It's about Naota.
People should not like her because she's a terrible human being.
Yeah, she's a jerk.
I don't know if she's a human. She's a terrible person.
Alien. I guess looping back to the music really quickly though, I want to agree with what Skylar was saying. It is very nostalgic music sounding.
Yeah.
But man, it's just good. It's just a sweet chill thing. Every time the music would start playing in the background, I was just like, yeah, dude, I need to listen to the Pillows more. Let's go. So I'm probably gonna listen to more of the Pillows over the next next week or so. Maybe I'll report back next time.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts on the music.
Real quick before we jump into like our in-depth thoughts, did you guys notice like watching some of the weird goofy animations? They had a lot of like references to other animation styles. They did a South Park one. I'm sure they did others that thing can talk about, but I was always picking up on these little tiny details.
I like the Lupin the Third reference with the where she like had a boxing glove come out of her vagina.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was a Lupin the Third
Yep.
reference.
Oh.
Yep.
And the red suit. It even says, "What, do you like green better?" Referencing how Lupin changes colors from red to green.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just a lot of weird references, but I was also trying to pay attention to like a lot of the details. They were slipping in lots of weird things. Like there was a shot where Haruko's on the bridge driving by with the Vespa, and I can't even remember where they were going, but she was yelling to Naota and Mimimi, and Naota's like, "I'm not going," and then Mimimi's like, "Oh, I'm going," and she shoves him or something, and he like falls back and grabs her and rips off her panties for that shot. I don't know if you guys caught that.
Yeah, I saw him holding it.
Yeah.
I didn't see him rip it off, but I saw her holding it.
Yeah, well, because I saw it and I was
that.
like, "Wait, did he just rip her panties off?" And I rewound it. I was like, "What the?"
I saw him holding them. I was like, "Where do you get those?"
Yeah.
Oh shoot. Animation. Where were you going with this? Shoot.
Just all the references. All the callbacks.
Okay. Yeah. So, I guess looping back to my Avatar: Last Airbender connection, it's interesting because Fooly Cooly references things, but I think more things reference Fooly Cooly than Fooly Cooly referenced other things.
It's the Family Guy of anime. I'm just kidding. It's not that.
But like I said, going back to Avatar, like it's. I completely understand where the connection between Fooly Cooly and Avatar is now. It's 100% the animation. The style of animation is so similar to Avatar. Like there are some shots that I swear are just like riffed, like shot for shot almost. Like when they get really close up to the camera and do like the that whole thing. Like that's Avatar, dude. Avatar does the same thing. So I used to like going back. I used to think like, what did Brian and Mike see in Fooly Cooly that made Avatar? And I think it was the animation. I kind of doubt it was the story that really inspired them. I think it literally was the animation that inspired them.
Not even close. Maybe the adolescence part.
But like I think it's mostly animation.
That's such a loose connection.
Yeah. Then the other thing that you see all the time is Mamimi's cigarette that says "Never Knows Best." Mm-hmm. Like you see references to that everywhere in anime. Somebody holding a cigarette that's got words on it. That might be even a reference to
itself. I don't know.
You think?
I don't know. Maybe.
I assumed Fooly Cooly was the originator of that.
Maybe it's. I think it might be like maybe a movie did it first or something. Maybe. But yeah.
But yeah, like you see that a lot where somebody's smoking a cigarette. It's got some words on it. You're just like, oh shoot.
Maybe it's a reference to Great Teacher Onizuka.
Oh,
he might have done that first.
It could have. Yeah, look up what the reference could be from, but.
Actually, you know what? Why don't you viewers at home do it? I'm too lazy.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. I don't remember what was the most recent thing I saw that did that reference, but it was something. Oh, it's Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man does it. Not in the anime, but in the manga. Later on, somebody's holding a cigarette and it's got words on it. I'm almost positive that's in Chainsaw Man. If it's not, then I've seen it too many times that my mind just boosh. I don't know, but. Yeah. It is interesting though how this anime really did inspire a bunch of other things to, I guess, essentially exist. Like, because without Fooly Cooly, like I don't think Avatar would be a thing, because they really did cite that as one of their biggest influences.
See, it's stuff like that is why I was so frustrated after I finished the anime, because I was like, I just felt like I didn't get it. Like I said, I felt like I was missing out. I felt like I missed the point of whatever the show was. So before I give you guys my thoughts, because I did a lot of contemplating yesterday and the last couple days after I finished it of what that show was meant to me, and I watched a lot of videos, some interviews.
He scratched the chair. The chair scratch wasn't a thing.
So I just want to ask you guys before I give you my thoughts, because I feel like this is racked my head more than your guys's. But what are your guys' like thoughts on the show as far as like what were the message or the themes that you got from it, like your interpretation of it rather?
Honestly, I didn't really like feel anything for any of the characters that much in general. I will say though, episode 3 specifically, that's my favorite episode of the whole show. It focused on the girl in his class and like her struggles at her home and stuff, and like how she essentially overcame her struggles. And I really, really liked that a lot. I guess I kind of related to that to an extent, because at first she kind of lashes out and does her own thing, and like she's the class president, so she makes herself the lead in the play that she's doing. But then she basically learns that what she doing was dumb and she did bad. And then we get a really nice like good note at the very end of the series on episode 6, where there's like this small one-off line from her where they're all where she's just like, oh, just cry about it and then talk to the people about it. I'm just like, oh freak, whoa, that was a drop of a bomb right there. Why did that? And she just runs off and just jumps over a bar, and I was like, nobody's gonna like acknowledge what she said. That was crazy. I'm just like, wow, that's insane. So I guess if I had to take something out of that, it would just be like sometimes you gotta just figure out your own problems. Like, it's good to have help from other people, but you're the only one who really knows yourself. Yeah. So I thought that was cool. Gotta cry it out. Good stuff.
I think watching again after 10 years. I did watch it actually a couple years back just to re-gauge it. It's like, this is weirder than I thought. And being an adult, I guess you kind of are more sensitive to bizarre things. And I think it's just a show about a kid growing up, and the director just threw in a bunch of weird stuff to be unique. It's like, hey, you think this is a deeper meaning? No, we just put a bunch of weird stuff. Really, it's just about the kid growing up.
Yeah.
And like if you think about it like that, the themes are very surface level, and all the other stuff is just there just to be there.
I see.
So, hopefully you guys don't mind. I'll probably just dominate the rest of this with my brain, but
I could throw some stuff at the end.
Yeah, totally. So the theme, and that was probably one of my problems. Thing is, I watched it, and instead of just being surface level with it, I was trying to dig deeper.
Sometimes I watch things where I just watch it at surface level, and then sometimes people say, "Hey, there's something deeper."
And I think with this show specifically, just because there was so much, I don't want to say hype around it. There was so much connected to it, I guess, like it was praised, and there was lots of references to it all the time throughout manga and anime and whatnot.
It's got a big name. Like, you've heard of it.
Yes,
everybody's heard of Fooly Cooly.
Yeah, very popular.
Even if you've never seen the show and you're into anime, you've definitely heard Fooly Cooly.
Mm-hmm. So, like I said, after I finished the show, I was really frustrated. I'm like, dang, what the freak did I just watch? So I watched a bunch of videos of people kind of explaining their interpretations of it. But in Mom's Basement video, I think it was an interview of the writer, and said something along the lines of, I'm paraphrasing, by the way, but it was something along the lines of, this show is for both individuals that are trying to dig deep and find deeper meaning, but it's also for very surface level, because the show is kind of just a cluster F. But one thing that I really liked that he said was, it's okay to feel stupid throughout life. And that's really, like, I feel like he made the show for me. Literally, after I was watching some of these videos, I was like, dang, actually, I think I really, really like this show.
Oh, so you really decided to like it. Wow.
Yeah, like, it was just a whole twist of, like, I was just looking at it wrong. But anyway, he said it's okay to feel stupid going through life. And it was like, when I was watching that show, I felt stupid. But then there's also some very deep, there's deep themes in there. He talks about sex, adolescence, obviously, that is the biggest one. And I asked one of our friends that he really liked the show, and I asked what he took from it. And what he took from the show was just not growing up too fast, just enjoy being a kid. Because there is lots of things that happen throughout the show where Naoto, like, he doesn't like sour drinks, but then at one point he's trying to be an adult and drink bitter coffee.
Yeah.
And so like I got that too, and I'm like, dang, that's really cool.
I guess to tie the bow on that specific thing at the very end, he like the girl, the classmate girl, she's like, here, drink this. He's like, I don't like carbonated stuff. It's like, you really are a kid. It's like, well, I guess he didn't really change, you know, but like at the same time he did change. It's you don't always change everything about yourself when you're changing. So I guess it's kind of cool.
Something.
It's kind of interesting. The last words he says, like, what happened to Mamimi? And it's like, is he still hung up about that?
Dude, Mamimi sucks, dude.
Yeah.
Mamimi is such a freaking terrible human being.
Both of them are.
Oh my, Haruko sucks.
Yeah.
But like Mamimi is very bad and manipulative. She was literally just using Naota just to
satisfy
her own like needs, essentially. Like the hole in her heart that his brother left and everything. Like, F you, Mamimi, but like I can't blame her. Like everybody does that. Everybody's looking for some kind of solution to their problems, and if it's easily and readily available, most people will do it.
Yeah.
It was
well,
there,
it's
even
also
if it's
just
temporary
she was getting
relief.
bullied.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. I'm not saying that like her life doesn't suck, but like it's like, and I understand it happens all the time, but like, dang, dude, if your life sucks, don't make other people's lives suck.
Yeah, exactly.
Too.
That was one thing I was telling our friend that I was talking to the show about, because he's like, oh, I think the characters are fine. I'm with you, Cole. I didn't really connect with any of the characters except for Naoto a little bit. But yeah, Mamimi, she's like, man, your life blows, but that doesn't give you the pass to go be a dick to somebody else. You know what I mean?
That's kind of the scene where Naoto's like, shut up, I'm not my brother.
Yeah. That was a good moment.
See,
I thought.
and
I liked that.
That is the theme that I got the most from this show, and the one that I vibed with the most was Naota throughout the entirety of it, or at least in the beginning of it, is trying to be somebody else. He's trying to be a grown-up. He's trying to be someone that these people can rely on. And he never was really himself, but towards the end, it was that moment where Naota's like, no, stop calling me Takun. My name is Naota. You call me this now. From now on, this is who I am. And there's the other moment where he's on top of that big tower thing and he smacks the baseball with the guitar. Like, he did it. He became himself, and it wasn't until Naota accepted himself and was like proud of who he was that he was able to kind of like, I don't know, just be happy, I guess. I don't know. He became himself, really.
Yeah. And as much of a jerk as Haruko, she really helped Naota become who he is, essentially. Mm-hmm. Like, she was a big driving push to realize what he wanted to be and who he wanted to be and all that. So that was good, I thought.
I think she makes a great villain.
Totally, yeah. I agree with that. That's a great observation, totally.
And that's the problem with the sequels. They focus on the villain. And they just have a new protagonist. That's all the sequels. Like, Progressive has new kids.
Different thing every
Alternative
time.
has new kids. And Haruko's there. It's like, and that's the problem with the sequels. It wasn't about Haruko. It was about Naota.
Yeah.
And then you try to make a new kid to make it about it, and just doesn't work the same way.
Yeah. Did you have anything else before I just jump into the last couple of things I got? It's just kind of like observation stuff. It's not really not like analytical at all. So if you got analytical stuff, keep going.
I think just to top it off, because I didn't really want to, mine's probably more observational too, but the last thing I just wanted to say was like, I think the themes that really vibed with me was like, it's okay to feel stupid through life. Like, nobody has it figured out. Adults don't even have it figured out. And I feel like growing up as a kid, I would look up to adults and be like, dang, like, man, they're cool. Yeah. And then you become an adult and you realize that nobody's got life figured out. So I really like that message. We're
still improvising as humans.
Yeah. It's like the message of it's okay to feel dumb going through life, as far as like not knowing what you're doing, because everybody feels that way. And then just the message of be yourself.
There's actually, oh, sorry.
Yeah, just the message of being yourself is like, I don't know, something I've always really liked is, just be who you are, you know what I mean? Be unapologetically yourself.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of related, but there's a quote in Black Clover from, don't remember his name. He hasn't been in the manga for a while, but he's a red-haired guy, and he has flame. He's one of the most powerful sorcerers, and he tells Noelle, it's like, it's okay with being weak, but staying weak is the problem.
Yeah.
So if you stay stupid, you're not going to learn. You can feel stupid at the moment, but you have to learn.
And I guess what I mean by stupid is like
ignorant.
It's kind
not
of
ignorant.
that,
No,
but
not
it's
ignorant.
just like you feel like you're.
So sometimes you feel lost.
Yeah, you feel lost, or you just feel like you're not.
You have to find your way. Like it's okay when you feel lost at first. Just find your way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, ditto to that. It's just you. It's okay to it's okay to feel lost. It's okay to feel. And when I say stupid, I don't mean like you're actually dumb, but like you just don't have everything figured out right now, and it's okay. Like it's just okay, you know.
Yeah. The last thing I had about the show was, I guess I honestly I should have brought this up earlier on. It doesn't fit the tone of the podcast right now at all. But I wanted to talk about how many innuendos were in the show. I just thought was just weird, and how often there were just crazy.
He's 12 years old, and Haruko's like. They say she looks like she's in her 20s, but she could be 1,000 years old.
The thing that got me the most was the police guy or the inspector guy or whatever that knew about Haruko. There's one scene where he's like with his assistant in the car, and it like cuts to this weird angle where it's kind of like lower looking up and the girl's driving, and he's just sitting there squeezing the stress ball. It's angled to go right over his wiener, so it looks like he's just grabbing his wiener, just squeezing it hard. And like the girl looks over at one point and kind of like a kind of see like face, and then she goes to normal, and I'm just like, there's no freaking way they knew what they were doing with that one.
Oh yeah, well then there's that one scene where Haruko pulls the little guitar out of the dude's head. It looks like a nutsack boner.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, you really can't do anything.
Yeah, you really are small.
And then he pulls that out of his head, and all the girls' noses are bleeding. It's like, Jesus.
And then the final note I had on it was just the difference between the dub and the sub. So I had watched, the first 2 times I tried watching it, I watched it dubbed.
Sometimes I flip back to see what reference they make. It's like, Japan doesn't know what Crystal Pepsi is, and it's some other soda brand.
No.
Yeah.
And so I watched it dubbed the first 2 times, and then this time I said, I'll try it subbed. Maybe that'll change it. I watched like the first 20-minute or the first 10-ish minutes subbed, and I was just like, this like acting, everything is literally 1 for 1 the same. And then I pulled up the dub to compare. Yeah, like they did it like. It seems like their directors told them to do exactly what how they sounded, and it was almost 1 for 1. Even the words were pretty much 1 for 1 too.
Yeah.
So. I don't know. It just wasn't super intriguing for me as a whole, but it wasn't. But it wasn't because of the dub or the sub.
I think it's the script, like them trying to adapt the script, trying to fit the crazy pace of the Japanese script, and like it just sounds awkward and stilted.
Yeah, I could see that. Overall, not a bad show. It's got some interesting things. The animation was awesome. The music was really, really awesome, but. That's it. That's pretty much it for me.
Yeah. The last couple things I had was I really thought it was interesting how self-aware the show was. It knew that it was just all over the place, like just
totally.
On speed the whole freaking time. And it made a lot of references of even they were kind of fourth wall breaks, but like Naoto at one point was like, I have no idea what the freak's going on. Like,
well, not even that. There's the point where they're doing the manga thing in episode 6, and like we're not supposed to do the manga thing anymore because of the budget. But like. Everybody said we were lazy, so we're doing it anyway. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah. And then I guess the last thing, too, and this just goes to... This is my fault because I always try to look into things, was like there were so many different things that would happen where I would see it and I would think to myself, wait, are they going somewhere with this? Like in the first episode, they cut to where they're like... It looked like them watching themselves, like they were acting, and they're like, "Oh yeah, the slow mo shots are really hard to pull off."
Yep.
And she's like, "Oh, I was just standing there as they're panning around." So in my head, I'm like, "Okay, wait, is this going to be like a show where they're watching themselves act or something?" That never gets brought up again. It was just then, and it was like, so there's so many like different little branching path things that you could walk on, but you're not going anywhere. Like that's it. It's literally just one-offs, and I think that was another thing while I was watching it that frustrated me was there was just so much going on, and it was really hard for me to digest it all. But I'm with Cole. I think overall, like I liked the show a lot more after I looked up a lot of other people's interpretations of it, I guess, just because I did feel like I was missing out on something. But this may be a show I go back and watch someday. I think I gave it an 8, like an 8. 7 or 8 is probably what I give it.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that pretty much does it for Fooly Cooley and for this episode of Life is Daijoubu, but we still have to reveal what we're going to be watching over the next 2 weeks for the next episode, episode 11. And it's my turn to pick, and so I decided to finally pick something that I've never watched, because I've realized that everything I've picked so far has been something I've watched. I decided to pick Science Fell in Love, So I Tried to Prove It. Have you seen this, Skylar?
Maybe.
Crap. I tried to pick something he didn't watch. I wanted to pick a rom-com specifically, and I was like, crap, he's seen this one, he's seen this one, he's seen this one. And then I figured Skylar, maybe, just whatever. Skylar have seen it. If he's seen it, whatever. But the reason I wanted to pick a rom-com is because I know Thane doesn't watch rom-coms that often. So,
I watch Kaguya-sama, but that's more of a comedy.
And so I thought it'd be hilarious to watch it with him to see his
Wait, it is a rom-com, but the comedy's more focused than the romance.
It depends on which season. Season 3 is definitely more romance, but yeah, so we're going to be watching Science Fell in Love, So I Tried to Prove It for next time. It's got 12 episodes. You can find it on Crunchyroll. I don't know where else, to be honest, but it is definitely on Crunchyroll. Look it up online if you need to find it. Well, sounds like we've got a nice, wholesome rom-com for the next couple weeks, and how do you feel about that? I'm excited to see Thane's reaction, honestly. That's the part I'm most excited for.
Maybe there'll be some fan service.
I know this one's got 2 seasons, and so we'll probably just watch this one season, and then in the future, maybe someday we'll watch season 2. But anyway, that does it for our episode of Life is Daijoubu. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to check out our Chainsaw Man special that we're doing right now, as well as all of our other stuff that we do. We have our Radcats channel where we do video essays on manga, anime, and video games, as well as our normal podcast. If you want to hear if you just want to hear us BS more about random stuff, you can find that at Talking Rad, Radcats podcast, Talking Rad. It's just Talking Rad.
It's Talking Rad.
Type in Talking Rad podcast on YouTube. You should be able to find it.
Subscribe to Radcats.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Have a great life. We'll see you in the next one.